a worldwide global Africa diaspora protest that is happening tomorrow, April 30th, in support of the President Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. So today's episode's title is United for Africa, Standing with Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. In this special episode of the Wellness and Wahala podcast episode, we amplify the global voices rising up in the unity on April 30th tomorrow in support of President Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. I will delve into the spirit of the African resilience, how we support him here in the diaspora, discuss the challenges he faces, and highlight the rich resources of Burkina Faso and Africa and how they have been long exploited, and also the many assassination attempts that have been made on President Captain Traoré's life. So join me as we stand in solidarity for justice and true independence of Burkina Faso. So once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Wellness and Wahala podcast from all over the world. I really appreciate you. And the theme really is we're focusing on today is Global African and Diaspora Protests for the April 30th tomorrow in support of President Captain Ibrahim Traoré. We want to emphasize the importance of our unity, especially here in the diaspora, and solidarity in the face of exploitation and corruption. Burkina Faso, just for background, so the colonizers of Burkina Faso was the French. It's a francophone, a French colonized African nation. And I've traveled to a lot of the francophone nations, Dakar, Burkina Faso, Lomé, Togo. And when I can say firsthand, the evils of the French colonizers is way worse than any other, like British colonized, like Nigeria is British colonized, Angola is Portuguese colonized, Cape Verde is Spanish. Those colonizers, everyone, they have their own evils. However, French, not number one when it comes to corruption and evil and just the evil atrocities and exploitations in Africa and specifically in the Francophone countries. So I saw it firsthand when I traveled to Burkina Faso, Ouagadougou, about a decade ago. You won't even see people with a car. If you did, it was really like politicians, corrupt leaders. Most people were, walking or taking bicycles or taking Okada motorbikes. If you had a motorbike, like you were well-to-do, it was the extreme poverty. It was just very saddening. But the people there were just wonderful, welcoming. And, I had a translator and, she told me about a lot of the history, and I would just pray. And I was like, look, our leaders, a good leader can make or break a nation. And right after I left, the following year, just a few months later, they actually had a military coup. And now they have a young military leader. He's 34 now, President Captain Ibrahim Traoré, and is wonderful because he is doing a lot. So just a brief background on Captain Traoré's rise to power in September 2022. His vision for Burkina Faso is anti-corruption, anti-imperialism, and Pan-African solidarity. I'm happy he came in. He told all the French troops, French embassy, y'all, peace out, leave my country. His alignment are in line with the ideals of Thomas Sankara, and as you know, he was assassinated along with Gaddafi and so many of the great African leaders that wants us to unite and actually prosper against corruption and exploitation. And he emphasizes national sovereignty and self-reliance. So some of the Wahala challenges he has faced is, of course, assassination attempts. They're really trying to take him out, and I just pray that God will protect him and deliver him from all forms of evil, and he will not die before his time. Good health, long life, length of days, and peace. Shalom shall be President Traoré portion, so he can really fulfill his God-given destiny to revive and and rebuild Burkina Faso. So that he has faced many dangerous assassination attempts, and I just want to emphasize his resilience, and he continues to stay strong for Burkina Faso's freedom and liberation from corrupt, evil leaders, especially the French. And he's been getting a lot of support from Russia and China. I think they're even going to be sending troops and defense forces and resources to help them fight a lot of the French-sponsored terrorists that are in the country. So I want to go into why they're being exploited. One of the reasons why Burkina Faso is rich with natural resources, okay? A lot of natural resources. So I want to highlight that Burkina Faso's status is the 4th largest gold producer in Africa, okay? And also they have a whole bunch of other wealth and resources like uranium. However, their poverty is quite high. And in the broader context, Africa holds approximately 30% of the world's mineral reserves, but benefits minimally due to external control and corruption. So I'm just going to bring you to an African proverb that will just sum all of this Wahala nonsense that is going on in Burkina Faso. It says, and it's a Burkina Faso African proverb that says, if you see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know how he had help. Okay? So once again, if you see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know how he had help. And the meaning of that is external forces are often responsible for unnatural outcomes. So a lot of the external evil forces that are happening, not just in Burkina Faso, but across all the 54 nations in Africa, is really because of external evil forces coming in, trying to exploit, and, they embed and make bad deals with our corrupt African leaders to just keep us impoverished when we are really the richest and most blessed continent on the planet. So, like, out of all the 7 continents, Africa is it. Like, even if you look at it biblically, when Joseph and Mary fled from Israel, the Holy Land, when they wanted to kill Yeshua, Jesus, they fled where? To Egypt, to Africa. Africa has always been a place of refuge. You understand? A place that's rich in resources and that has been hospitable to people that come. Unfortunately, that hospitality has been replaced with hostility and just evil, corruption and exploitation. Another African proverb is, the sun does not forget a village just because it is small. So just because they think that Africa is small, we are not smaller, we are very mighty. You understand? And God can never forsake the righteous. So my Nigerian pidgin verse for this week and for this topic, aligned with this topic, is the book of Psalms 46, chapter 46, verse 1, that says, God na our refuge and strength. Now him be our help when wahala dey plenty. Once again, God na our refuge and strength. Now him be our help when wahala is plenty. So let me get into Russia's support and the quest for decolonization in Burkina Faso. So President Traoré is receiving